I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good morning, Philippe Borremans. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
Good morning, Angel. Very good. It's sunny out here in Casablanca, Morocco, so another nice autumn day.
Oh, that's great to hear. Hey, thanks for connecting, my friend. Again, great pleasure. Please tell me, which of your talents up to this time is responsible for us connecting?
Well, it's a good question. It's a question I have for you, but I guess we found each other because we're both podcasters. I have a weekly podcast about my profession, which is public relations. So I guess that's the talent that's connecting us.
Yeah, most definitely. So on the podcast, the thing you delve deep into, is it the talking that connects to you, or is it just the tech side?
No, what I find interesting about podcasting is that it allows me to connect with people like me, professionals in the public relations industry, and I try to find people who have done something special, research, or have a certain experience that we can all share. I think we need to share these experiences in whatever kind of profession. I think podcasting is the best way to do that through interviews.
Yeah, it is. Now you named it Wag the Dog. Please tell us more about the name.
Well, that comes from a movie from many years ago. The movie was called Wag the Dog. At the same time, it's a movie a bit about spin doctors and the negative side of my profession, but it was a very good movie. And at the same time, it's also a saying in the UK. People would say, is the dog wagging its tail, or is the tail wagging the dog? Meaning, who's pulling the strings? So
yeah. I was wondering if it was that. Most definitely. Yeah. Who is wagging what? Well, that's great. So, who did you learn this skill from?
Sorry, the skill. Well, I studied public relations at school, and then tumbled into the first job in Brussels. I'm Belgian, so originally from close to Brussels. And I've never looked back. It's now almost 25 years I'm in this profession. I still like it every day.
That's great to hear. Yeah, this is a huge question. Have you decided why will you continue to repeat this skill? I mean, why?
Yeah, it's one of the things that I find interesting in the profession and the skills. Mainly the skills in PR are listening and being always curious about many things. And I think it's a curiosity that keeps me going. I'm learning a lot of stuff from my clients and from colleagues. And it's that always learning, always being curious, and also always meeting new people. It's the connections. We often say that it's about public relations, but it's much more about public relationships, which is good.
Yeah. The listening part that you're speaking about, coming after the episode that was just before you, Don Harris. Wow, it was something that he definitely punched on in many ways. Yeah, the listening and the value of it. Please tell us where we can get more, where we can reach you, connect with what you do, Philippe.
Well, I mean, there's the weekly podcast, which you can find at wagthedog.fm. That is purely for the podcasts. And then, I'm a bit everywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn just by searching my name and Googling me. There's a website that we recently launched. There's a network of senior consultants I work with, and that is at Reputation and Co. As well. So Google me and you'll find different bits and different facets of who I am and what I do.
Yeah, it's cool. Philippe is Phillippe, Borremans, Borremans. That's pretty cool. But hey, Philippe, please do tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
For the last 3 years, well, that coincides with me moving to Morocco, from Belgium to Morocco. The consistency there, I think, is simply connecting with people here. The human aspect, the cultural aspect. It's being open and reaching out to any kind of people. I think it's important. One of the things I'm very passionate about is travel. And I think that, traveling is discovering that most of us are wrong about each other. So it's, again, that connection with people in the street. And I think it's very important for all of us.
Yeah, I love that. Immediately I'm thinking while you're talking, while I'm listening, it's like there are two travels now, right? There's the virtual travel that occurs where you're connecting with people via this mainstream right here, and then there's the physical travel. Both of them are being pretty much fun for those that love it. How does it make you feel?
That's what keeps me feeling alive. It's hearing all those stories, listening to people, and of course from time to time telling my own story so that people can know. I mean, what I see here is that people sometimes don't understand why I would leave Europe and come to Africa. But again, I mean, that's the story. That's because it's adventurous and it's a new culture and it's different from what we know. So no, that is the thing. It's meeting people and exchanging and explaining that, it's not always greener on the other side as well. But it's that exchange of ideas and culture.
Yeah. And if he didn't do that, I wouldn't connect with him right now. So I'm glad that he did it.
Yeah. That's how it works, right? We connect virtually. We've never met physically, but here we are talking about these things.
Yeah, all because you're functioning in the thing that is your uniqueness. Had you been in Europe, I'm not sure I would have connected with you. So I'm very grateful for that. Why would you suggest to someone listening out there who may be thinking, should I? Why would you suggest they do what you've done by just making that next step?
Well, it's just picking up your courage and saying, I'm going to do it and we'll see whatever happens. I mean, it could very well be that for me it didn't work out and I would be back after 6 months or something, but it did work out for many different reasons. But imagine that I wouldn't have done that, and on the last day of my life I would have been thinking, what if 20 years ago or 30 years ago I would have taken that step and moved to Morocco. That would be terrible. At least to me, that would be the most terrible thing, to have those questions at the last moment in my life.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did what you did. Amazing audience. We are live with Philippe Borremans. You could definitely check him out. Again, he is the podcast host of Wag the Dog, right? FM. Check him out. Philippe, let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded by beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Philippe, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I think that would be... It would be... talking with my grandfather, probably. I've got some visions. He died when I was 6, but so those are pretty early memories. And there is something that I discovered moving to Morocco. One of my very first auditive memories, so hearing, is the call to prayer from a mosque. And I discovered that because it's something that to me sounds very natural. And I know why, because I used to travel to Tunisia when I was very young, and of course there as well you have the call to prayer several times a day, and that's again one of those things that you discover. Oh, my very earliest auditive memory is the call to prayer from a mosque, which is very strange, but that's what it is.
So how old do you think you were the first time you heard this?
I think I must have been around 4.
Okay. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I think it's specifically because it's an auditive memory. It's, we listen first, and then we learn to speak, and then we learn to do other things. But the first thing that we can do is hear and listen. That's how we learn languages. That's how we recognize the voice of our parents. So I think that's why exactly. And also because it's repetitive. It's several times a day, so it comes back. And it has this, of course, at the time, I didn't understand the language. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even know it was a call to prayer, but it's something that stuck with me. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea that the listening part of what you've done by listening to what Philippe is saying in the model of going and doing at the same time, which has you right now in Morocco. I love how that has occurred and the listening being the thread through it all. Like, as you said, you listened to what the call was to go to Morocco, and had you not done that, you would have regretted it. And that is fascinating how that connects.
No, definitely. And as I said, I mean, it would be terrible to regret things. So if people listening, if you have an idea in your mind, just do it. You'll see what happens, and maybe it will bring you back to where you're supposed to be. Otherwise, it will open doors to something new and interesting.
Boomerang. That's amazing. All right, well, Philippe, hey, if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I've been an early fan of Robert Palmer. So anything that has to do with Robert Palmer, and then my very first sweetheart, virtual of course, untouchable for me, was Sade Adu.
Yeah.
And I think that's around when I was between 12 and 15. So the beautiful voice, the beautiful lady, of course, and then from the male side, yeah, it's Robert Palmer with his different hits. Those are the two kind of artists that I have in my mind that I loved listening to when I was around that age. Yeah.
That is great. That's great. Amazing. Hey, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Philippe?
Sure, go ahead.
Philippe, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
Nope.
Do you believe in God?
Nope.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I have.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, definitely not.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yeah, probably.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It would be less than 8, but it's a lot of time.
Philippe, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook thereafter, the name of it being Yours, which stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And the idea is, as you answer those questions, you hopefully uncover your mission, which I have named Your Own Unique Real Statement. If you had to share with us, Philippe, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
I don't know. It would be maybe my epitaph, which would be to travel is to discover that everybody is wrong about each other.
Love it. Philippe, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I think, first of all, thanks for having me. I think you've got a great setup. The 12-minute format works very well. It's to the point. And a big thank you, shukran, like they say here, for connecting and giving me this opportunity.
Wonderful. Philippe Borremans, shukran, for being on What is Inspired in 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.